Timeless Stainless Steel Coupé. This is BlueBrixx set 107706. It was released in December 2024 for about €60. This construction block set consists of 1,578 pieces, which are compatible to bricks by other building blocks companies like Lego, Coupé, Mega, and so on. When the set was announced a year prior to its release, I think in November or December 2023, the set was announced with another name. Back then they called it Irish Stainless Steel Car, but it seems between the announcement and the release they reconsidered that name, and yeah, that's why today it's called Timeless Stainless Steel Coupé. But no matter what, both of those names are quite generic because, yeah, this set here clearly depicts a DeLorean. But I think, like it's in most cases with BlueBrixx, they simply couldn't get or didn't care to get the licensing rights, and that's why they have to go with this rather generic name. This is not the only set that I'm going to show you in this video, because here we got an upgrade kit for this car. They call it upgrade kit for this set to turn that set into a timeless special car. And when we have a closer look, we can see that, with this set we get everything we need to turn this set here into a time machine. So what we are doing is turning this DeLorean into the Back to the Future DeLorean. The upgrade kit was released at the same time when the DeLorean itself was released, and it costs about €18 and consists of 494 pieces. At the moment, both of these sets are sold out, but I'm quite sure that at some point BlueBrixx will restock these sets. Both sets are BlueBrixx special sets. That means they come in these quite boring boxes, unlike BlueBrixx Pro sets, which come in neatly designed colorful boxes. But for me personally, this doesn't matter at all. I don't care about the box at all. What's a bit strange is that when we have a look at the instructions, with BlueBrixx special sets, there are no printed instructions. We always have to download the instructions from the BlueBrixx website. So this here are the instructions of the first set of the DeLorean itself. And when we have a look at the title page of those instructions, we can see that it says BlueBrixx Pro set. So I'm not quite sure if they are going to re-release those sets here as Pro sets, or they originally planned these sets as Pro sets and then for some reason released them as special sets. Normally, Pro sets come with building sections and special sets do not. So, when we have a look here at the instructions at the next page, we can see that there are building sections. Now, I'm really curious to see if there are really building sections or if this is something they planned for a Pro set which they never released. Well, we will see immediately when we have opened that box. Oh, and by the way, talking about the boxes, you can see that here's a lot of text printed on those boxes. But it simply says that these sets come with metallic silver pieces which have a flat finish and flat silver pieces, and that due to some pigments which are needed for that color, the finishing has a special look. And I guess that some people thought that their bricks were broken because they looked so strangely. I don't know why, which people have such kind of ideas, but well, alright. So I guess they got a lot of mails concerning the bricks, and to make everything clear, they simply printed it on the box. And what's also a bit funny is they got here a typo. Elemente, that's just German for elements, but for some reason they used two capital letters here in the front. So German nouns always start with a capital letter, but only the first letter should be capital, not the second one. Oh, I almost forgot to show you this here. So, I had a quick look into the instructions before I bought the set, and there I saw that I can easily fix things to make the whole set even look more like the DeLorean in the movies. So first of all, I bought this Lego piece here, which comes with this DMC print. Yeah, it's a DMC, a DeLorean. And I think this is actually part of Lego's DeLorean, which didn't come in metallic silver. It was only produced in light bluish gray. But from that set there comes this piece here, and then I also printed a number plate. It's also printed on a Lego piece. And yeah, to attach this number plate to the back of the car, I also will have to, I will have to alter the construction. And for that, I need these 3 additional pieces. I'm going to place them instead of other pieces. I will show you that when I reach that step in the instructions. Yeah, then I think it's time to open the first box and see if we really get bags with numbers on them which are sorted to individual building sections. Wow, we really got building sections in a special set. That's cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 building sections. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Wow, very cool. And we even do not have to look for the individual bags of the individual building sections, because all bags which belong to one building section always, also come in one big bag. That's very cool. I haven't seen that before with the BlueBrixx set. This will save us a lot of time. We are not going to have to sort the bricks by type before we start with the building process. We don't even have to search for the individual bags. Very cool. Alright, then I think I'm going to open the bags with the number 1 on them. And then I will start with the first building section, with step 1. I will come back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something doesn't work as shown in the instructions. Since building step 9 is the first step in which we are placing huge pieces in metallic silver, I just want to take the opportunity to talk about the bricks. So in general, I can say so far I didn't have any problems with placing the bricks. The clutch power is fine. Of course, the bricks don't feel exactly like Lego bricks when interlocking them, but as long as the bricks interlock properly, I'm totally fine. As long as the build doesn't fall apart, it's no problem to work with those bricks. And yeah, They might not be the best bricks on the market, but you can build with them without any problem. What I don't like about the bricks is that many of them come with huge ugly injection holes. Have a look at those dots here. These crater-like holes are awful. I hate to look at them. Some pieces have rather nice injection holes. Have a look here at that one. That's only a point, not really a hole. That's totally fine, but many of those pieces have ugly injection holes. And yeah, there are even several pieces which seem to have been produced with different tools, so they are not from the same production batch. Have a look, for example, at these metallic silver plates here. You can see some of them come with huge ugly injection holes. Others have quite nice injection points. Those here are absolutely fine, and those three here are ugly. And another thing about the metallic silver color, it seems that that color is quite prone to scratches. You can see here that, when the bags are stored, when the bricks are stored in the bags with all the other bricks, it might happen that they get a lot of scratches. With other colors, those scratches aren't really very visible, but yeah, this metallic color doesn't like scratches at all. And some of the pieces even are bent, at least of those plates here. Look at that. This won't be a problem because once we have placed it on the build, it will be perfectly flat, but nevertheless, I don't want to have bent pieces. And also the colors aren't perfect, so you can see that there are definitely differences in the color. Look here, those two plates with the better injection holes are slightly lighter than the three plates with the ugly injection holes. It's not that visible on camera, but I think you can see it. But alright, I hope that once we have completed the build, more or less all the ugly dots are covered, and I think I can live with the differences in the color. Let's go on. Step 14. I just have placed this combination of bars here on the underside of our build, and yeah, I think this is supposed to be the DeLorean's powertrain. And I have to say, working with bars never is a pleasant experience for me. It's no fun because, I don't know, it's so much small stuff and you don't really interlock it properly. It's just not a nice experience. You can see here that one of those, let's call it bar combinations, it consists of 3 bars. So we got one bar here, which ends in a pin, so the pin is part of the bar. It's like one of those skiing sticks, just in big. And yeah, here is another bar with its pin on the end, and then we got a very short bar which we put here in the middle between those pins. So the pins hold the 3rd bar. The problem is that this 3rd bar is quite tiny. It's not as long as this gap here. This means we have to pay attention not to stick in this tiny bar the whole way into one of those pins, because otherwise, we would see here a gap. Those 2 bars would not be connected with each other. And that's simply no fun to do, because at the same time you also have to pay attention that the combination between this bar and this cone doesn't disconnect, or between the bar and those 1x1 round plates with hole in them. And then they are also attached to these plate modifieds here, which sit at the end and hold the whole combination in place. It's just not fun working with bars. At least this was only a tiny bar job, but if I remember, when I remember other sets, for example, I think it was that Venice bridge that I've built, that was my first BlueBrixx Pro set, if I remember correctly. There were a lot of missing pieces, but there we also had to work a lot with those bars, and that was just awful. Compared to that, this year was fun. Step 39. In this step, we are using some pieces which are special pieces. We do not get to see those pieces in sets by the Lego company. Those are 1x2 plates with studs on both sides. Step 43. We're using more not standard pieces, and if I remember correctly, these 2x2 curved corner slopes were actually developed by BlueBrixx themselves. They use them a lot for their cars, for roofs, for example. Building section 1, step 47. So we have completed the first building section, and so far it wasn't really difficult to build. You had to pay a bit of attention with this segment here on the front. You were building it individually, and as long as it wasn't attached to the rest of our build, this bigger segment here was quite fragile. But once we have placed it here, it's sturdy. What's a bit strange is that there are so many pieces left over, especially those bigger pieces. I hope that I didn't forget to place some of those pieces, that I accidentally skipped some steps. And then we also get this piece here left over, this bar. But my guess is that we are going to use this in one of the later building sections as a tool to place only studs. Those are some pieces which BlueBrixx uses a lot, but we do not see in Lego sets. But I will show you those pieces once we have reached a step where we have to place them. And then in one of the bags of the first building section there also came this brick separator. It's quite interesting with this part here in the back. Maybe you can use it as a tweezer or something like that. Yeah, that's quite interesting. I haven't used such a brick separator before. Alright, then it's time to go on with building section number 2. And as you can see, I don't have to say which building section this is in front of each step, because the numbers just go on. Step 56. At the moment we are building the engine, and I think I have found a tiny error. Have a look here at these skates which we have placed here. I guess those are supposed to be the pistons. And have a look at the upper end of those skates. These 3 here are placed identical, but the 4th one is placed the other way around, and I doubt that this is supposed to be that way. So You can see here, that's one part of the engine. There's all the upper parts of the skates look the same. But this here is the other part of the engine, which we just saw in the instructions. And there you can see that the fourth skate is placed differently than all the other skates. I think I'm going to place the fourth skate the same way as I have placed all the other skates. Yeah, that's once again one of those pieces you don't want to place with just one hand. It's immensely easy to place that piece, but when you only use one hand because you're holding the camera with the other hand, then it might get problematic. Alright, I think I'm going to assemble my engine just like this, not as shown in the instructions. Step 64. One of the pieces we have to place in the step is this hose here. So you can see we have to connect it with those two pieces. And yeah, you see that this hose has got these two ends, which are there to stick them in the hole or something like that. And when we have a look at our build, we can see that I wasn't completely able to stick this end of the hose completely in that piece. I think the hose also doesn't stick completely in that piece, but it's better over here. And yeah, this is due to the shortness of that hose. It's a tiny bit too short to be placed here, and this makes it very difficult placing it here. I can only recommend to use scissors. Stick the hose in that piece over here and yeah, connect it to this round brick, and then connect it with this plate modified down here with those two clips. And yeah, then you probably do not have enough hose left to place it in this thing here. So I would already connect this piece to the brick modified, and yeah, then only the hose is hanging here loose. And what I do now is to grab the hose with the tweezers and pull a tiny bit to the right, only millimeter by millimeter, until at least we have a contact between the hose and this cone-like piece. It doesn't really fully connect, so maybe you can push a bit this side a bit more in, and then you have to pay attention that it doesn't fall out over here, because this part here is slightly movable, so I think it's more important that the connection over here is done well than it is over here, where everything just is static. But this step isn't so easy to do. Step 73. It turns out the hose isn't too short. I simply have messed up the whole build. This segment and also these pieces here should have been placed one stud more to the left. I hope that this isn't too difficult to fix. So, I have fixed everything, and I don't know what's wrong with me today. It has been quite a while since I have messed up that hugely. But now everything is placed right where it belongs. And yeah, I have to say, when you do everything correctly, it's way easier to place the hose. Even so, I still think that you should use scissors to place it. Just the same way as I told you, but you do not have to pay attention that the hose doesn't fit in one of those cones at the ends because the hose is definitely long enough. It was simply my error that the hose appeared to be too short. Step 91. According to the instructions, this bar here has a length of 2.4. This here is the only bar left in this building section. And when we check how long it is, we get an answer of 3. I hope this isn't a problem. Step 109. We have completed the second building section, and this is what the DeLorean looks so far. So this here is the front, and here where the engine is the back. The build isn't really difficult, but you have to concentrate quite a lot. I made a quite severe mistake during this building section, and this wasn't something difficult which I did wrong. I simply placed a few pieces at the wrong position, so one start apart from their right position, and that messed up the whole build, and correcting that did take quite a while. I had to take off the whole back of the build and also the engine, and I had to rebuild everything. That was a bit annoying. And what's actually quite exhausting to me is that, we use only so few colors. And when you stare a long time at the instructions, at some point the colors simply start to blur. And because of that, I often place the wrong colors. I mix up black with dark bluish gray a lot. Metallic silver is quite easily to distinguish because it's always marked with a little star in the instructions, and light bluish gray is definitely lighter than the other gray colors, but black and dark bluish gray always gets me into trouble. But that's not only a thing with BlueBrixx sets. I even have this problem more with Lego sets, so I think it's just a me problem. Alright, then let's go on with building section number 3. Steps 123 and 124. At the moment, we are building the DeLorean's rear end, and this is where my little modification comes in, where I can use my extra pieces. So, normally we are supposed to place these two pieces like this and that. I'm not going to connect them, I just want to show you what we are supposed to do. So, let me connect them slightly, maybe. So, we have to place these two pieces here, and then we have to cover all 4 studs with these 1x1 tiles. Just imagine that I had interlocked everything properly and it would look nice. So this normally is supposed to be the back end of the DeLorean, and this here is the area where normally a number plate would be placed. But our DeLorean only gets a number plate in the front, not in the back. That's not what I want to have. In Back to the Future, the DeLorean didn't have a number plate in the front, but one in the back. The number plate in the front will be later removed when we are building the add-on set, but in the back there is not going to be a number plate. And to change this, we are removing these pieces here so that we only get to see these plate modifieds. And then we are adding this jumper plate here, this 2x2 jumper plate, just here in the middle, like that. Then we got two 1x2 plates, which we place next to the jumper plate. Like that. And now we can add these 1x1 plates, tiles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it looks pretty much the same, but now we got a stud here in the middle. And to this stud we interlock our little number plate. And now it looks way more like in the movies. Haha, nice. Step 161. In this step we are using another piece which the Lego company doesn't use. Once again, a plate with studs on both sides. This time it's a 1x1 plate with studs on both sides. So we interlock it with this little segment, and then we interlock this segment with that segment. Yeah, I guess this is something, I should do with both hands. Come on, interlock. All right. Step 167, and I guess also step 168. So we have just created seats, or at least the bottom parts of the seats, and we have to place them in our build. The second seat which we have created, the driver's seat, comes with this little tool up here which we use as a handbrake. The problem is that we can't place this tool like shown here. If I place the tool like this, it's no problem. It can properly interlock with this 1x2 round plate. But if I lower it, like shown here or here, then yeah, you can see here that this tile simply isn't away, which means we are supposed to not properly interlock the tool with the 1x2 plate, round plate. Oh, it's walking away. So, this here is definitely illegal. It has to sit straight in there. And, yeah, alternatively, I do not connect properly the 1x2 plate with this tiny segment. But this doesn't make things better. Let me place the camera. So what I want to say is that we are supposed to place this thing like this. Now it would be straight, but you can see that the tip isn't interlocked with that hollow stud up there. Yeah, I think I'm going to place the tool like this, so yeah, we can say that the handbrake is activated. By the way, I didn't know that the DeLorean has its handbrake on the left side. That's a pretty strange experience. Step 174. The last thing to do in this building section is to place the seats. After we have done that, we have completed the third building section. And yeah, our DeLorean starts to get recognizable. Now in the next building section number 4, we are going to build the car's boot, which is in the front since the engine is in the back. Step 194. At the moment we are placing the mudguards at our build, and I actually have already placed the first of the mudguards, and now I'm going to place the second one. We can see that the mudguard sits on our build in an angle because the boot is built like a slope, so it rises from the front towards the windscreen, like this. And because of that, we can't simply interlock our bonnet completely with the build itself, with these studs. We need to somehow produce an angle, and we do this with the help of this bar clip combination. So you can see that we are able to move this part here, I think. Yeah, this should be movable like this, and this helps us when we want to create an angle. So here you can see that we can move it. What we do now is to interlock this segment here. So our our plate with clips is placed here, and that's the only connection between the mudguard and the rest of the build. So the whole mudguard only is interlocked with 2 studs. But for some reason it's sturdy enough, so no reason to complain. Well, there might not be a reason to complain about the build itself, but about what I did. Maybe you saw it just a few seconds ago. Here was a gap between this part of the mudguard and the front part of the mudguard. Of course, there isn't supposed to be a gap. I simply did build the mudguard wrong, but now I have corrected it. And nothing did change considering the way how we connect the mudguard to the car. Step 209. We are building the car's front, and now it's finally time to place the printed Lego slope. So normally we are supposed to place 3 unprinted slopes next to each other, like this. But since the DeLorean has got the DMC logo here on the front, I'm going to use the Lego piece from the Lego DeLorean. Step 235. In this step, we're using, besides other pieces, a 1x1 round plate with hole in it. And the only round plate that is left, or the only round plate with hole in it that is left, is this metallic silver one. And I'm actually quite sure that this piece here is supposed to be in metallic silver. It looks slightly differently compared to the dark bluish gray one, but for some reason a little star is missing. Always, at least so far, always when we have used a piece in metallic silver, it was marked with such a little star. I guess they simply forgot to place it there. Step 254. We have completed the fourth building section. The only thing what's to do now in the fifth and final building section is to add the wheels, the doors, and of course the roof. Step 305. In this step, we are using a building technique to reverse the building direction, to turn anti-studs into regular studs. It's a technique BlueBrixx uses quite often, and I showed you this technique in a lot of videos, but it's also a technique that the Lego company doesn't use. So, for this technique, we need this piece here. It's a single stud, an only stud. And then we also need this bar here, which we use as a tool. We stick the bar in this single stud, hollow stud, only stud, Coupé stud, ironing bead, whatever you want to call it, and then we place it at a position where we want to turn the anti-stud into a normal stud. Like this. Then we push down the piece with a fingernail, and at the same time we pull off the bar. And now we get this tile here with a stud on the underside. And yeah, we can place this now, for example, here. Step 332. We have built the roof and the doors, but yeah, you can see it's this rather strange looking segment, and now we have to somehow place it here. I fear this is going to take quite a while. This won't be much fun. Alright, I have managed to place everything just where it belongs, and I can tell you this definitely wasn't an easy task. So what I did was that I removed the doors with those arms from the roof. Then I placed the roof. Then I placed the doors here and adjusted the arms that they were in the right direction. Then I folded the roof upwards, and then I connected the arms to the roof, and then I pushed a bit until the door fell into the right place. It's not easy, but after a while you should be able to manage it. With step 334, we have added the last of the wheels, and with that we have completed the build. And have a look at this thing. It really looks like a model made out of metal. And it doesn't only look like that, it also feels a bit like that because this thing really is heavy. Well, then let's have a look at the car. I think the shape really is well recreated. It looks like a DeLorean. That's fantastic. And I have to say, I'm really happy with my little modifications because this makes the whole thing look even cooler. Here the DMC slope and also the license plate here in the back. So, where do we begin? I think first of all we have to talk about the color. It's really flat silver and yeah, this looks quite cool, but we also definitely see that there are some problems with that color. Some pieces are, more matte than others. Others look a lot more glossy. And that gives the whole build a strange look, especially here with these pieces down here. You can see those two are matte, those two are, but these here look a bit more glossy, and because of this different finish, also the color looks differently. Because, I guess the light simply interacts differently with those pieces. And of course, the tiles come, at least some of them, come with a lot of scratches. Well, it looks a bit like a car which stood a long time outside in a sandy region. A car which doesn't have a garage and you park it near the beach or something like that. Those vehicles also, look like that when the sand scratches off the color of the bodywork. Okay, what's quite cool is that we got different sized wheels. So the wheels in the front are smaller than those in the back. When we turn the build around, we can see that the front wheels are also thinner than the wheels in the back. On the underside of the build, there is not too much to see, but we get to see here this powertrain thing and also the exhaust pipes. It was a bit strange that we built these pipes, or these the whole power drain quite early during the building process, and this also means that we touched it the whole time during the whole building process. Always when we attached something from above, we touched these things here. And I feared all the time that we're going to rip those things off, but it didn't happen. They stayed in place the whole time. That was quite a surprise. Well, then here in the front, there is the boot. Let's see if we can open it. This might not be so easy with one hand. Because of that, I'm going to place the camera. Yeah. That did help a lot. So here we can have a look inside the boot, and there isn't really much to see. You can store your luggage in here. But I like the details with these rods here. Very interesting building technique. Then here in the front we got the wipers, which are made with the help of screwdrivers. That's also a quite interesting technique. Then on the side we got mirrors, which are made with translucent or transparent tiles here on the inside at least. Then we got the doors with door handles. And here in the back is the bonnet. We can open 2 hatches, so let's open this here to begin with. And yeah, then we see this construction here with the fences, and we can look through there to see the engine itself, but we can also open this part here. And then we have a better look at the engine. Very interesting. Okay, let's close it again. Then we can open the doors, just like with the real DeLorean, they open like this. Let's also open the other side. I like that this really works and they stay up there. It was quite difficult to build those doors, but I think it was worth the trouble. So then here on the inside we can see the passenger seat. It's a cool seat. Let's have a look at the other side. There's a bit more to see. Yeah, you have to pay a bit of attention. So here we can see the steering wheel, the pedals down here. I think those look a bit strange. They are too close. Here are some, control panels. Another seat. I think this is the handbrake, but I'm not absolutely sure about that. Let me zoom in a bit. Then we also can see the gear stick and some more control panels. And I guess in that hole here you can place a cup or something like that. Who knows? And I'm not quite sure what these plates here are supposed to be, but I think they look like those are the pieces where you connect the seat belts. And let's close the door again. Oh, I think I messed up over here. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, and then here in the back we get to see the indicators, the braking lights, the lights when you are driving backwards, and of course the license plate that I added myself. I especially like the look here from the back. This really looks amazing. We have used very cool building techniques to achieve this whole shape. Very cool. And yeah, I guess we have to live with the strange looks of the pieces. It's a bit sad that we got so many problems with the color here, but well, the real DeLorean wasn't really known for its high quality, so I think it's okay when this model has got some problems too. Oh, and by the way, have a look at this here. Those are all the pieces left over. And I'm used to leftover pieces with BlueBrixx sets, but this here really is a lot for a set of that size. Very strange. And if I remember correctly, it said on the box in German that the set also contains flat silver pieces. I didn't see any of those at all. I don't know what they were talking about. But this doesn't really matter. Now let's go on with opening the upgrade set. Inside the box we find these 6 bags. As you can see, the bags are numbered, but I think this doesn't matter at all because our set comes without building sections, and for a set with about 500 pieces we really don't need building sections. It's a BlueBrixx special set, so once again we have to download the building instructions, which I already have done here. And yeah, when we have a look at the instructions, we can see that in the first 6 steps we have to remove different parts of our DeLorean. That's what I'm going to do now. Alright, after step 6, the car looks like this. Yeah, it had a pretty rough time. And these are all the parts which we have removed. Now, with step 7, we start adding new stuff. And for that, I'm going to open all the bags. I'm coming back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something simply doesn't work as intended. Step 10. In this step we are using a piece which I haven't used before. A boomerang. The Lego company introduced this piece in 2016 and so far it appeared in 30 sets. Step 11. In this step we have to place 2 pieces. One piece can be seen up here in this little inventory box, but the other piece isn't shown in the inventory box. So my guess is that this plate modified, which is shown in the inventory box, is a piece which came with the upgrade set, and that this 1x1 slope is one of the pieces which we detached from the DeLorean previously, a piece which came with the original set. Step 21. In this step we are using another piece which I haven't used before. This spider with round abdomen and clip. This piece was released during my Lego Dark Ages, if you want to call it like that. I didn't really have real Dark Ages. It was released by the Lego Group in 1999, and back then I at least was building Lego Star Wars sets. And yeah, between 1999 and 2018, when this piece went EOL, it was released in 124 Lego sets. Step 32. I had no idea that there is a cherry piece. The Lego company introduced this piece in 1998, and so far it appeared in 254 Lego sets. Step 34. At the moment we are building these lights here. I think there are some flashy lights in different colors, and later, or better said in the next step, in step 35, we are going to add them to the inner side of our roof. The problem is that one of the pieces which we need for those lights is missing. A 1x1 tile in, I guess metallic silver. It's at least a metallic color because it's marked with a little star. Those here are all the 1x1 tiles which are left. And sadly, we didn't have a spare 1x1 tile in flat silver left from the main build, from the main set. So, I guess I'm simply going to use one of those 1x1 tiles in light bluish gray. If I run out of these, I at least have some of them in my collection. But this is very annoying. Step 36. Do you remember in the main build I had a problem with the handbrake, that I wasn't able to place it in that position, that I had to place it slightly upright so that this tool connects correctly with the 1x2 plate behind. The problem is when I do this now, for some reason, when I close the door handle rips off the handbrake. I don't know why this didn't happen before we added all these time machine things. But for some other reason, and I really don't know why, the tool stays in the right position now. It still isn't properly interlocked, but as you can see here, there's a huge gap. But at least it doesn't fall off. Strange. I guess it has something to do with the 1x2 plate, round plate behind it. I guess that isn't properly interlocked either. I can't imagine another reason. But well, I won't complain as long as this works. Step 37. According to the instructions, we only have to use pieces in light bluish gray here. There are no metallic pieces visible in this little inventory box. There are no stars. Alright, so I have placed this 1x2, 4, 6, 8, this 1x8 tile here, this 1x2 jumper plate. Both are in light bluish gray. But the thing now is, I do not have any of those 1x3 jumper plates in light bluish gray. I got these two in black. I think we are going to use them in a later step. And then I got these here in flat silver. So my guess is that I have to use those. I'm not sure if this is an error in the instructions or if they gave me the wrong pieces. I think we are not going to see them in the completed build because we put stuff on top of them and also on the sides, so those won't be visible, hopefully. But such errors are always very annoying because you don't really know what to do. I checked if we are going to use these pieces in a later step and they didn't appear anywhere. They also do not appear in the inventory list at the end of the instructions. Really annoying. Step 51. This here is an extremely optimistic construction. Have a look at how fragile it is. Oh, wow. A lot of pieces are just connected with one single stud. So first of all, the whole construction is only kept in place by this stud here and that stud over here. So the whole thing isn't really connected that sturdily to our DeLorean. And then these two light bluish gray pieces itself are quite fragile. Have a look here. this lower part here also is only connected by a single stud here. The same as with this part here. And it doesn't really help that the two parts are connected with each other simply via this tube here, or that hose or whatever this is. Oh no, that's not a good idea. This really isn't going to be a playset. It's definitely only a display set. Step 54. In this step, we need two tiles in light bluish gray. And, well, there is only one left in light bluish gray. The other one, that one here, is metallic silver. I guess that this tile up here is supposed to be in metallic silver instead of light bluish gray, even though it was shown as a light bluish gray piece. We placed it at the same time when we had the problems with the 1x3 jumper plates. Okay, I'm going to replace this light bluish gray piece with this metallic silver one, and then we can use the light bluish gray piece over here. I also removed a few pieces here to have a look back at this jumper plate, and I think I'm also going to replace this light bluish gray jumper plate with this metallic silver jumper plate. So this means all pieces placed back in step 37 are supposed to be in metallic silver, not in light bluish gray. Step 92. The problems with the color go on. So when we have a look at this little box here, we have to place two pieces in light bluish gray, a 1x2 brick and a brick modified. Alright, then we go over here, there we can see where we have to place those two pieces, and the other two pieces up here, those are pieces which we have removed from the original DeLoreans, and we can see that these pieces are in flat silver. They do not come with a star, but the color definitely differs from those two bricks here. And yeah, those are those pieces up here. Not the 1x3 brick, we don't need that one, but those two slopes up here. Alright, the problem now is that we do not have any of those pieces here left in light bluish gray. We only got two pieces in flat silver left. And then you might imagine, okay, let's simply take these two pieces here in flat silver. But no, there are no flat silver pieces of this 1x2 brick left, only in light bluish gray. That's so annoying. Well, I guess I'm going to combine a flat silver piece here for the 1x1 brick modified and a light bluish gray piece for the 1x2 brick. And hopefully the 1x2 brick won't be really visible because it's on the inside, if I interpret this correctly, and later we also place here a wheel, so it might not be really visible. We will see. Oh, of course, the 1x2 brick in light bluish gray can't be visible because from the outside it's covered by our brick modified, and from this side here it's covered by the slopes. Alright, that's fine. This works perfectly fine with the bricks we got here, but it's very strange that they don't show us this correctly in the instructions. Step 111. I'm quite sure that we are using an illegal building technique here. We have to stick a Technic pin inside a 1x1 round brick. And well, these Technic pins have a wider diameter at the end than at the rest of the piece. And when you stick them in holes, they expand once they have reached the other side. But since a round brick is wider than the normal holes in which you stick the Technic pins, they can't expand. I don't think that this hurts the brick, but maybe the pin doesn't like it so much over time. But it's very easy to do so, and yeah, it also isn't a problem of the clutch power. Everything just stays in place, but Lego wouldn't do this, or at least normally they wouldn't do this. Step 116. In this step, we have to use 4 of these 1x1 plate modifieds in light bluish gray. And yeah, we only got 2 of them left. We got 2 more left, but those are in metallic silver. What I'm going to do now is that I'm replacing these 2 plate modifieds here. Those are in light bluish gray. And I had a look again in the instructions. They were also definitely in the instructions in light bluish gray. But I think it won't look too bad either if I place here metallic silver plate modifieds. Then we got, for this step here, 4 light bluish gray plate modifieds. I have no idea if we simply got a lot of wrong pieces with the set or if they completely messed up the instructions. Step 135. In this step, we have to decide how our DeLorean should look like. If we want to use this device here, which Doc Brown uses to refuel the DeLorean or the time machine, or if we want to have it without it. In a previous step, we have placed this yellow piece here. And, well, if we want to have this thing here instead of the yellow piece, we now have to remove the yellow piece and place this thing there, which is shown in step 136, which is actually this set's final step. Well, so I'm going to place now this piece here, this little segment here, because, yeah, I already have built it, and I think the whole vehicle might even look cooler with this part here. Okay, I had to look up how this coffee machine lookalike thing is called. I really couldn't remember the name. It's the Mr. Fusion Home Energy Reactor. And yeah, it's used to refuel the reactor with household garbage. The reactor sits below the Mr. Fusion. So, if we do not use the Mr. Fusion and we want to refuel our reactor, let me just place it again here. First of all, what we have to do is to remove this yellow fuel tank cap, like that. And yeah, then we take out one of those bottles out of this box here. And as you can see, this bottle contains a red plutonium solution, which we fill in our reactor like this. Bloop, 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 bloop. And then we can put on the fuel tank cap again, if we manage to. Like that. But I think I personally really prefer the looks of the Mr. Fusion. So let me place that again here. I think this looks cooler. Even though I have to say that with the Mr. Fusion, it doesn't make much sense that I have chosen this license plate here. Since the Mr. Fusion appeared for the first time at the end of the first movie, when Doc Brown already had visited future, or what was the future back then, the year 2015. And from there he brought with him the Mr. Fusion. But at that time he also had the 2015 license plate, and the license plate which I chose is the one from the movie's beginning. So the combination of Mr. Fusion and this license plate simply isn't correct. And because of that, I'm going to order another license plate, an orange one with, which just looks like the second license plate in the movies. Even though I prefer this license plate, but I don't know. I can't live with this wrong combination that just triggers my inner Adrian Monk. All right. Oh, by the way, this set also came with a brick separator, just like the main set. Normally, we do not get those brick separators in BlueBrixx special sets, so that's quite cool, even though I don't think that I'm ever going to use this one here. I prefer the Lego ones. Okay, I think then it's time to have a look at what we have added to the DeLorean here. All the time machine things. So, here in the back, we got these two huge reactor cooling vents. And here of course we got the Mr. Fusion on top of the nuclear reactor. Then here is a lot of greebling, a lot of tiny details. I have no idea what all these things are in particular, but I don't think even that there is an exact law for all that stuff. It's just there to look cool. Then I think this here is the tachyon pulse generator. And then, of course, we got here those flux bands on all sides of the car. And I think when I showed you the main build, so only the DeLorean without the time machine stuff, I said that this is the door handle, but actually I think this might be the keyhole and this here is the door handle. So I might have told rubbish before. When we have a look inside the DeLorean, we can see that we also added here a lot of stuff. Some lights and I don't know, some little rotor or whatever this is. And somewhere here in the back, we actually can even see the flux capacitor. You see here that yellow thing? That's supposed to be the flux capacitor. Oh no, that's not a flux capacitor, it's in here. Damn it. I think we can't really see it. It's too dark in there. We can't really have a look through the windscreen, sadly. But you can see that there is some kind of yellow stuff back there. And yeah, that's the flux capacitor. I think I showed you during the building process how it looks back there. All right, then let's close the doors again. 1, 2. So, I think the shape of this whole vehicle is really done great. It just looks like the DeLorean time machine. But there are some areas with which I'm not really happy, especially this area here in particular. So you can see, let me just move the DeLorean a bit, that this flux band sits at the wrong position, at least slightly. I think it should be placed at least half a stud or even a whole stud more to the right. So in the movie, we can't see these black things here. It's not really a window. I think it's some kind of vent. I don't know what this is supposed to be. But yeah, it's simply not visible because the flux band sits on top of it. And here in our little model, the flux band sits to the left of it, and yeah, that's not so cool. But this can be fixed quite easily because we got a lot of pieces left over, which we removed from the DeLorean to be able to place all the time machine stuff on there. And because of that, we also got these two metallic silver tiles, and I think I'm simply going to replace the black grills on both sides with those two metallic silver tiles. Another problem is that these curved slopes here are in light bluish gray for some reason, and this doesn't make any sense because these pieces here are not part of the flux band. I think they belong to the car's bodywork and hence should be, also in metallic silver. And because of that, I have ordered replacement pieces for, those two curved slopes. It was quite strange that the instructions, this curved slope, that longer slope here, and also the curved slope on the back side were shown in light bluish gray. But as you can see, only the curved slopes, which came with the set, are in light bluish gray. This tile here, this big tile on top, comes in flat silver, which makes more sense, by the way. So I don't know how they messed that up. I thought maybe they gave us the wrong pieces and really want to have only light bluish gray pieces here. But then I had to look at the inventory list at the BlueBrixx website, where you can order replacement pieces if something is missing. And there I could see that all the pieces are exactly supposed to be in those colors, just like they came in my set. So these slopes are really supposed to be in light bluish gray, and this tile on top is really supposed to be in metallic silver. So I don't know what's wrong, and I think there are two possibilities. The one possibility is that the instructions are wrong, because there all the pieces are shown in light bluish gray, which, by the way, I think is an error, because I would like to have all those pieces in metallic silver. Or they published all the sets with the wrong pieces, because all the sets come with a mixture of light bluish gray and metallic silver for some reason. So probably the instructions are wrong, and what they put in the sets is wrong too. That's very strange. But yeah, to make things short, I'm going to replace the grill with this tile here, and the slope with a slope I ordered from BlueBrixx in metallic silver. And so this whole area here is in metallic silver. This doesn't really correct the problem that the flux band is placed too much to the left, but, well, at least it covers the whole error a bit up, I guess. All right. What else can we say about the set? Oh, yeah, I think there are some other things which I don't like so much in the same area even. So you can see here that there are quite huge gaps because of these ball joints here, and this doesn't look so cool. I wish they had covered this a bit better. But yeah, maybe this is too much complaining. But something I really don't like is how the flux band is connected to the car's rear. So you can see here starts the flux band. It's only connected to this one stud, but it's interlocked quite well, so there's not too much problem with the sturdiness. But down here it gets problematic. You can see that our flux band, it goes in this rectangular shape, and these two segments here do not come with too much sturdiness. This whole segment here is only connected to one single stud, and the whole construction is extremely wobbly. So you really shouldn't touch the flux band here in the back. It falls off immediately, and I don't know. This isn't really a pleasant construction technique. I don't like this. In general, the flux band doesn't look too cool because of, how it's built with different layers, which, it just looks a bit strange that we get these different layers of flux band. In the movie, it's just one ongoing construction. But I think other than that, the combination of those two sets looks really cool. So of the DeLorean and the Time Machine Upgrade Kit, I really like what they have done here, and the shape really looks great. It looks definitely like the movie prop. This is really well done. The brick quality, on the other hand, is something we have to talk about. Those bricks here are definitely not the best bricks on the market. They come with huge ugly injection holes on the studs, but luckily we have covered almost all of the studs with tiles, so the injection holes aren't visible. You can see here one of those ugly injection holes. The clutch power of the pieces is alright, but the metallic silver pieces come with significantly less clutch power. So it's no problem to interlock everything, and the whole build is more or less sturdy, even though there are some strange construction technique decisions, which at least here the flux band in the back makes the whole thing a bit wobbly. Yeah, the metallic silver pieces come with less clutch power, but I think that's not their biggest problem. What I really don't like about them is that they come with so many scratches. I don't know. This makes them simply look heavily used, even though they are new. I don't like that. The instructions for both sets were absolutely easy to follow, but I really didn't like so much that we got to see a lot of steps on single pages. So I don't know, there were a lot of pages which had 8 steps also placed on them, and you really have to concentrate a lot not to skip a step, or I don't know, starting with one step but then placing them like shown in the other step. That's really annoying, but maybe you are better in concentrating than I am. But I think the biggest flaw about the instructions was that, some of the pieces were shown in the wrong color, and that's quite annoying. At least this should be easily fixable, since those are only downloadable instructions, so they simply have to replace the file on their website. But for some reason, I doubt that they ever are going to do this. All in all, I think I can say this set looks absolutely great. And compared to the Lego DeLorean, I think this set looks way better. It comes way closer to the movie prop. I guess also the metallic silver color helps a lot, but I think the shape here is done way better. But on the other hand, I also have to say that this set is for another target group than the Lego set. The Lego set can be used as a playset. It's made for casual building blocks builders. This set here definitely isn't. It's made for adults who already have built several complex sets or even mocks. This here definitely isn't a set for beginners. You need some experience to be able to interlock everything here correctly. I think especially the segment with the 2 doors and the roof might be very problematic for beginners. So you should have built at least 1 or 2 of those rather complex cars before. But if you have experience with more difficult construction block sets, then I don't think that this, I think that this is a good set for you. It's definitely not a playset. Some pieces or some parts of the build really aren't sturdy, but it's a really cool looking display set. A few days have gone by and I have received my orders, so I can happily end this video with the slight modifications that I had planned. I have placed the metallic silver slopes. Then I have placed the metallic silver tiles instead of the grills, you know, the pieces which came with the set, which we didn't use. And I also got a new license plate. I still prefer the looks of the other one, but yeah, this simply is the correct one if we want to use the Mr. Fusion.